Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla. These are my top 5 biggest nitpicks with Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 7, Dominion. It's no secret I did not like this episode. It was easily my lowest rated out of the season. I found this episode downright boring compared to the prior 6. I initially gave it a 0 out of 10 during my reaction review, but in reality it's probably closer to a 2 or 3. Despite the lack of emotional response to this episode, I had no problem finding nitpicks. So spoiler alert, and as always, we'll start with number 1. Early in this exposition-heavy episode, we get this.
Shorty, were you able to contact Mr. Worf?
He and Raffi are monitoring Starfleet security at Exoport. They confirm there's no mention of Will in custody.
Damn it.
They're on their way back here now. And not a moment too soon. Short of junkyards like this, I'm running out of places to hide us.
So Worf and Raffi left the Titan sometime since last episode. That's fine, but one of the issues I had earlier was how did Worf and Raffi get to the Titan? Presumably, they used the La Sirena, which Raffi had at the start of the season, but the La Sirena is too big to fit in the shuttle bay. They never brought it up, nor showed the ship attached to the Titan. I suppose they could have parked it in an asteroid field, or somewhere, but the total lack of explanation at the time was mysterious, and now the fact they leave, also without explanation, is doubly so. One more line could have explained both away. Instead, they just ignore it in hopes we forget, or don't think too much about it. However, Captain Picard said it best in the Next Generation episode, Clues.
Clues were left behind that suggested a mystery, and to many humans, a mystery is irresistible. It must be solved.
Number 2. So Picard has some sort of plan, and out of nowhere, in what is called open space, somewhere in the Alpha Quadrant, we see what turns out to be a Vulcan warship. The ship is in solid enough condition that Vadic scans it, and it appears to be space-worthy, capable of having a crew on board, and is even transmitting a subspace signal.
Subspace transmissions?
This is the VSS Qapla. We have engaged the fugitives and exchanged fire. We have disabled their warp core. They are incapacitated. Captain, I must remain exit stations. Get weapons back online. We are sending you her last known coordinates. Torpedo incoming.
In my first reaction, I complained there was no single line of dialogue as to where this Vulcan ship came from, and that remains true. There was no dialogue explaining any of it. However, some people pointed out the ship is visible in the very opening scene where we find the Titan is hiding in the Chintaka scrapyard. I checked and checked again, and I did not see it. Then finally, when I went all the way back at the extreme top center of the screen, before the words about it being the Chintaka system even show up for several frames of video, blink and you miss it, you can kind of see what might be a Vulcan ship. They really expected us to notice this? In Deep Space Nine, a major battle of the Dominion War took place in the Chintaka system, so it is believable, I suppose, there is plenty of debris still around. However, a complete, recognizable Vulcan warship just sitting in space for over 25 years, and all that time, no one harvested it for parts, no Ferengi tried to resell it, no Vulcan or Federation ship towed it to a starbase? Did anyone even check it for bodies? Further, it should be public record, and Vadic, or at least her computer, should know that when she hears the name of the ship, that it was lost in the Chintaka system 25 plus years ago, and can't be what she thinks it is, a random Vulcan warship that engaged the Titan. Number 3. Picard's plan to trap Vadic doesn't only depend on this mystery Vulcan ship we were supposed to realize the Titan tractored to open space, but also on Jack Crusher and a second crewman to engage with the changelings Vadic brings with her when she boards the Titan. While I understand why Jack himself is used as bait, he has proven he can kill shapeshifters with his bare hands. But why would Sidney LaForge be involved here at all? Why risk the ship's pilot? Why risk Geordi's daughter?
Ready? Now!
Clearly, she must have had the strongest plot armor of any character.
Drop Delta and Echo! Now!
I mean, watch again. That guy doesn't even try to shoot her. By all logic, a dedicated security officer, or anyone else on the Titan, such as Captain Shaw, would have made for a better sidekick for Jack Crusher. The only reason Sidney LaForge gets used is so Jack can use his magic telepathic connection again. Number 4.
We were barely out of the gates of war, and your Federation turned to genocide. A virus.
We gave your people a cure.
Is that the tale of your history books? You created a cure, yes. But Starfleet voted not to give it to us. One of our own had to steal it.
Vadic falsely claims one of our own had to steal the cure, but that is simply false. The cure was stolen by Miles O'Brien and Dr. Bashir. They risked their life, and in the process presumably killed Sloan by entering his mind to steal the cure to save Odo. From what we know of the Great Link, they should all have had access to Odo's memories, and they should all know the real story of how things went down. Yes, solids created the virus, but other solids put their changeling friend ahead of other solids to cure him. That should count for something. Picard also conveniently forgot to remind Vadic that the Dominion was no stranger to genocide and biological warfare before they ever meeting the Federation. We know the Dominion created the disease known as the Blight against the Teplins in the DS9 episode, The Quickening. Starfleet had every reason to believe, should a biological weapon be found effective against Federation worlds, it would have been used. And number 5.
Frontier Day, where you'll use my body and Jack's blood to make a near-perfect double of me.
We also know about your evolved physiology.
Picard and Beverly confront Vadic with the plans that they think she has for his stolen body, but it makes no sense. First, by all logic, shapeshifters already had the ability to perfectly replicate human bodies, including internal organs, in Deep Space Nine. Odo confirmed that when scanned, a changeling scans as the shape they've taken. It's also clear they knew how humans worked, as they were able to make Odo a real human as punishment for killing another changeling. However, even if we ignore that and accept the retcon that only these special Picard changelings can perfectly mimic humans, even enough to pass genetic testing, then why would they need Picard's body? Isn't that something they can already do? It doesn't make sense. Special changelings made by Starfleet to be undetectably different need a dead body and a man's son to make a changeling that is undetectably different from a synthetic robot body that is undetectably different than his original dead biological body? All the while they presumably had access to the man who made the perfect synth replica body, since his mind was conveniently being held in the very same secure facility as the changelings themselves. So those are my 5 biggest nitpicks for the week. There were plenty of others, Check out my full review and reaction for more if interested. Check out Nitpicking Nerd and Star Trek Nitpicker channels for more nitpicks. And please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. It would be greatly appreciated. Qapla All. Bird out.